What's going on, everybody? Markel here, back with another video. Hopefully, everybody's doing well. My apologies for being late. Just getting in, living life. That's all you can do is live life. But hopefully, everybody's doing well. Tuesdays, I'm gonna just not try to do on Tuesdays because normally she's trying to do stuff on Tuesday nights, and that's what we've been doing lately is Tuesday night stuff. I haven't had a chance to send the link or anything. Literally just walk in the door. So let me put the link out here. What's going on, Barry? How you doing? What's going on, OT? How you doing tonight? Viper, greetings. Let's see. Greetings and blessing to all. Appreciate it. Oh, shout out to Howard. Happy birthday, Howard. Today is Howard's birthday, so don't expect Howard to be on tonight. Obviously, he's got quite a bit going. So, but shout out to Howard. Today is his birthday. Don't know how old he is. Don't even. I'm not even trying to worry about how old he is. I know he's a lot younger than the rest of us, but happy birthday, Howard. Okay. There's a lot of stuff going on in the news, guys. A lot of stuff to get to, and I'm gonna try to share some of this and get you guys' thoughts on this. I know there was been a few debates on our WhatsApp group with Mr. B and Howard with different things that are going on, and I don't know if I'm getting anyone on tonight. I know Tommy is abroad, and Steele is working tonight, so that leaves Wally and Mr. Miles and Mr. B. So I'm not sure what they got going. So it might be a short night tonight. Just letting you know that up front. All right. So what I want to start with first, though, is this from who's it from? This is a police department that arrested a federal worker that does background checks for ICE, right? So I want y'all to see this and hear this, right? And then give me your thoughts on this.
Mr. Rashad Johnson, out of Maple Grove. This is the most disturbing arrest that we've had here. He is a backgrounder for ICE, Homeland Security, and federal agencies. So when you're getting your security clearance, this is one of the guys that does your backgrounds, which is kind of scary. So we locked him up. And I think if you're going to be, these people get access, they get a high security clearance, right? Because again, for all the ICE agents, Homeland Security agents, and people getting security clearance, this is one of the people that does the backgrounds. And you come here trying to purchase sex. We locked him up. I don't think he's going to be passing a background check no time soon.
Yeah. Interesting, huh? Man, I mean, some of this stuff lately, man, is just wild. Wow. Right? I mean, there's a lot. There's a lot. That's just one of many stories that have happened. There's another one that I found from Instagram out of the state of Alabama with three guys and what they were doing. I want to share that with you guys next. But it's some of this stuff, man, is so wild that's out there that's going on in the world today. And you really can't explain it. There's no real way to explain a lot of this. I'm thinking this is T Mix. What's going on, T Mix? I think that's you. I'm not 100% on that. But let's get to the next one, guys. And then you guys give me your opinion on this stuff, man, because there is so much happening in the world today. It is wild.
These motherfuckers, I want y'all to remember these faces because these was the motherfuckers that had a bunker in Alabama filled with kids. At least 6 kids aging from 3 to 10 years old was taken to this bunker and drugged. And investigators say that there are multiple suspects accused of paying to sexually abuse these children. Now, allegedly, they claim that the kids was being held down here against their will. Like, I really hope they throw the book at these motherfuckers. 3 of the 4 suspects are being held on multiple counts of first-degree rape, multiple accounts of first-degree human trafficking. 2 out of the 4 gentlemen are being held on multiple counts against kidnapping. I really hope they throw the book at these motherfuckers. Now, under Alabama law, any suspect that is convicted of having a case with a minor 6 years or younger is automatically life in prison. Like, seriously, how could some motherfuckers do some shit like this? Well,
I mean, there's even more stuff out there, guys, that is like, wow. It's wild. It is wild. What's going on? Big dreams, little time, sickening. Yes, it is. It's, man, and that's just the beginning. I mean, there is so much that is going on in these states. And if you look up a lot of stuff that's currently going on with some of these former law enforcement officers, where a lot of them are being caught up, underage children, drugs, all types of things that who knows how long they've been in that world doing that stuff as police officers. So there's quite a bit going on, guys. And I can understand why people want to get the fuck out of the States. I can understand why, man, but it's going to get difficult coming out of the States, bro, because you're relying on the dollar. And the way that they're going to do the taxes this upcoming year, and I'm warning y'all early. I'm warning you guys early. This year, rolling into 2027, if you have not been up on your taxes, especially if you are an independent contractor, meaning you're doing social media, you're doing whatever, okay? And you making at least $400. If you have not been keeping up with your taxes, they coming in 2027. I'm telling you right now. I'm telling you, they coming. And there's going to be a lot of people that get caught off guard, especially people who are abroad, who doing social media and not filing taxes. This is going to catch these people off guard, and they're not going to know how to react to it. And I'm telling y'all early, this is going to be one, you're not going to have much of a choice. A lot of those people are going to have to uproot from where they are, go back to the States and try to handle business. If you're not taking care of business now, it's going to come back to bite. The big, beautiful bill, they're not writing anything new. They're just enforcing what's on the books that have been just, the IRS has been just letting it slide for many years. It's been on the big books probably for 30, 40 years, but they've never tried to enforce it. This year, they're going to enforce it. They're going to. And there are going to be a lot of people out there that's not going to expect what's getting ready to happen. Whereas before, you know, it depends on how you looked at it and how you looked at your taxes. Like with personal taxes, that's totally different than you being an independent contractor. That's totally different. Personal taxes, I mean, you can make up to like what, 15, I think it's 15.2 this year. If you make below that, you don't have to file any taxes. But on the business side of it, that's totally different. You got things that mandatory that you got to pay, like Social Security. You got to pay it. You're a business, you got to pay it. You can't get around that. And if you're abroad thinking that the foreign exception rule applies to you and you're running a social media business or you're running whatever business online, it does not. That applies to your personal taxes. That ain't got nothing to do with your business taxes. If you talk to any accountant, tax accountant, lawyer of any type, they will tell you the foreign exemption, that's your personal. That ain't got nothing to do with your business. That's two different things. And as a U.S. citizen, you are taxed no matter where you are in the world, no matter how long you've been out of the U.S. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. You're a U.S. citizen. You're subject to taxes. Okay? So if you're on social media and you've been filing your taxes and taking care of your business, you ain't got no worries. But if you're one of those people that decided that, hey, I'll worry about it later. If they ever send me that letter, I'll worry about it when they send me that letter, 2027, they're going to send you that letter. Without a doubt. Without a doubt. That's why I have demonetized, because my tax situation is set. I don't need any other income coming in to change where I currently am here in Colombia or where I am in the US. I know what to anticipate every year here, and I know what to anticipate every year in the US. even adding a few $100s will change my tax situation here, and it will change it in the US. And it's like, I don't want that. Don't want that at all. So for me, it wasn't worth it. Like, I still do YouTube and still have fun doing it with the guys. But as far as trying to make any money off this, no, it's not. It ain't worth the headache for me. It's not. It's really not. I'm good with what I got coming in from the sources I got it coming. And this will just add another headache. Them changing the rules and making it very specific about what they're asking for. So it's just not worth it to me. Okay. Now, with that being said, guys, are there any questions you all have at this point? I would share some more stuff, man, but some of this stuff, man, is so graphic that it could be a little bit too much. But I also want to share with you guys, though, the difference between being in the US dealing with the police and locally how people deal with the police here. It is totally different, right? Like, if you put your hands on a cop in the States, yeah, that's pretty much a wrap. They're not going to hesitate to beat you down to the ground. Zero hesitation in that, right? But abroad, depending on where you are in the world, it's a totally different situation, right? So I'm gonna show you a video of how some locals can do stuff and get away with it, and how I would not advise any foreigners to try this, okay? But locals, different story with the police here, very different, because a lot of the police live along with the locals in these barrios, so they got to be careful with what they do and who they do it to, unlike in the States. So I'm gonna share this real quick, man. But yeah, it's just different abroad. So you got to know where you are. And he's not gonna be arrested. He's gonna get right in his car and drive right on off. He gets the police officer out of his car. See, he's in a truck. He gets out the truck to talk to the guy, try to calm him down, because they're in the middle of traffic. That would never happen in the United States of America. Never. Never in a million years would that happen in the States. You already know what's about to happen to you. You do that in the States. That's things that will not happen. Okay. All right. So I'm gonna give it about a good 5 to 6 more minutes, see if anybody else comes on. If not, it's gonna be a short night. But I want to address my man Barry. My man Barry hit me up and was talking to me about some things about here in Colombia. And I just want to talk real briefly about some of the changes that some of you all may or may not be aware of. And I'll start with the most obvious one. The most obvious one here is that the cost of living increase here has increased by 23%. Okay, so plus the dollar has gone down, I think about 15 to 17% from where it was earlier last year. So with that being said, there's a lot of changes when it comes to visas and qualifying, where people who qualified last year with just $1,000 won't qualify this year because the requirement is almost $1,500. Okay, so just so we're clear, there's a 23% increase in the cost of living. Unlike in the US, you got that 2.8%. So the dollar's value has gone down, where most of the year last year, it was hovering around 4. Right now, it's like 36.67 the last time I looked per dollar. So you lost quite a bit of buying power with that. And with that has come a lot of changes where people can no longer afford to live here. Now, I want to address the digital nomad visa, because this is something I get asked about even when I'm out walking around and people ask, you live here, what type of visa you got, so on and so forth. So for the people that don't know, I have a residential visa to be here. The residential visa is good for 5 years. At the end of 5 years, if I decide I want to apply for citizenship, I have the opportunity to apply for citizenship, or I can wait till I turn 65 and then fill out an application, and they basically give it to you without a test. That's the 2 ways you can do it. Okay. But when it comes to the digital nomad visa, for those of you who may be interested in digital nomad visas, regardless of what country you're going to, read it, understand what it is and why some people are not getting theirs renewed anymore, why they're being deemed inadmissible. Okay. So this is my understanding from my attorney because I just renewed my passport and we have been talking about all this stuff, right? So this is from my attorney. As a lot of you all should know, there is no path to citizenship or to any type of visa with a digital nomad visa. You're basically just here as a visitor, just like a visitor's visa. There's that the digital nomad visa does not have a path to anything. No citizenship, no migrant visa, no nothing. Okay. Number two, the reason why a lot of these people have been deemed inadmissible, meaning their digital nomad visas will not be renewed, is because they don't contribute to the neighborhoods they're in and they don't contribute to the country. Part of the reason why they allow digital nomads to be here, other than the taxes, is because they expect them to contribute to the community and to the country. Well, you say, well, how do they contribute? They pay rent. No, when you're coming here as a digital nomad, saying that you're a business or you work for a particular business, they're looking for you to hire local people, start local businesses, invest in whatever company or organization or whatever, or you're bringing in whatever more revenue to the country. A lot of these digital nomads ain't bringing in shit. They're just using the visa as a backdoor way to just stay in the country full time. And that's another one. As a digital nomad visa, you're not supposed to be here the entire 1 year or 2 years or 3 years or whatever it is that you got, right? That's not the way it's supposed to work. You are a digital nomad visa, which means you're here for a certain period of time. You move on to somewhere else and then you come back. The problem is a lot of these people come here, they never leave. That's why they don't get renewed. They're deemed inadmissible. They may have the income to qualify. They may have the job to qualify. They may pass a background check. They may pass the medical and the psych, but you never left. That wasn't the purpose of you having the visa. You were supposed to be here for a while, go somewhere else for a while. Then if you want to come back, fine. But it wasn't for you to be here the entire 2 year period or entire 1 year period or whatever it may be. Okay. And the other reason why I'll say this as well is because there are a lot of people who came here on Social Security and the Social Security wasn't a lot. Like there's some people and there's some who are making videos on YouTube now talking about why they have to leave Colombia and go somewhere else. It's simply because they won't qualify for a visa again this year. Like if Social Security is their only income source and it's basically under $1,500 a month, they're not going to qualify again for another visa. Because you got to understand, not only do you have to have at least $1,500 now, you got to pay all your insurance up front. And the older you are, the more health problems you have, the more it costs. So, you know, like with my situation, I have private and I have public. I could just have public and not worry about the private, but I'm not going to take that risk. But when it comes to the public insurance, it's pretty inexpensive. I mean, you can get plans as low as $15. And this is another reason why a lot of people don't get renewed, because it goes by how much you show you make. They use a percentage. I think it's like 12.5% or whatever you show you make. So just to give you an example, at 100%, or just say $4,000, you can be paying close to $300 a month just for public health insurance. That's not to mention private health insurance. What's going on still? See you in the background. So it all depends. And then whatever your health issues are is just going to add on to that. So with private, I found a lot of times with private insurance, and if you have issues, because I used to have Cigna, my Cigna health insurance was like $525, $530, something like that a month with Cigna. And this was before I was able to get public health insurance. Okay, so it all depends. It just depends, right? But there are a lot of changes that they've made here in this country for people who are thinking about coming here. I would just tell you, do your research and understand. Let me see, top of the evening at work. Okay, you there till 10? Okay, I'm gonna try to hold out for you still. since you're not that far away from your job, I'm gonna try to hold out for you. I don't know if anyone else is coming on tonight, but I'll try to hold out as long as I can. All right. So back to this, right? So, and I know there's a lot of you all who are looking at going abroad, and I try to be upfront and as honest as I can based upon my experience of living here and then living in other places. I would say if you're trying to stay in these countries full time, first go visit. See if you even like it, right? I mean, you got to get over the honeymoon phase when you first get there to see if there's somewhere you really want to stay. And then stay in different areas. Don't just stay in one spot and then go, oh, okay, everything's cool, this, that, and other, because you paid for a particular time with an Airbnb, and then you never had to deal with day-to-day or everyday living here or having anything go wrong, right? That's the problem with vacation, is you're only there for a certain amount of time, everything is paid for, but people don't anticipate having problems. And that's part of the problem with people who come on vacation. They think that their vacation life is the life that they're going to have the entire time, regardless of where they go in the world. Now, that might be the experience for some, but if you are coming to a country and you're basing what you know off vacation, you're going to catch hell. You're going to catch hell, because there's always little things that come up you don't anticipate that cost. And if you don't have your income squared away, you're going to find out quickly that a lot of these countries that these people keep telling y'all are so much cheaper, they're not. Because a country or a city, like, I'll just use the city of Medellin, for example. The city of Medellin makes up money in other ways. I'm gonna give y'all a few examples of how they make up money in other ways. Because people love to tout the rent. Okay. Is the rent cheaper in some locations? Like where I currently live, my rent is $1,500 plus. That's what I pay for a 1-bedroom, all utilities included, in the Golden Mile area, right? It's 15. I think I just paid $1,525 is what I paid for my apartment. Okay. Typically, when the dollar is higher, it's just under, it's right around 14 or close to 14. Just depends on the exchange rate, right? But for the people out there that say, oh no, man, I know people who paid $300, $400. Cool. But here's where they get you. Because you're going to want to buy a car, because I'm going to get one this summer. You're going to want to buy a motorcycle or some other way to be more independent, right? Because I do have a driver, but again, you want to be more independent. Well, how do they make it up? Gas. In the US right now, y'all are averaging like $2.28 a gallon. Regular gas here is $4.60. Premium gas here is almost $7 a gallon. They make it up in other ways because people are so quick to tout rent, and then they tout the street food. Okay. But Colombia makes it up in other ways, like with health insurance. I was just explaining the visa. You got to pay all your health insurance up front. So if you go get a quote and say you're in your 50s and you got a lot of health issues and you got mental health problems, and then they quote you $550 or $500 a month, okay, and you qualify for the 3-year visa, that means you paying $500 a month for a year. That's $6,000 for 3 years. That's $18,000 you got to pay up front. And if you don't pay it up front, they're only going to give you your time for what you paid for. So if your insurance is only good for a year, they're going to give you a 1-year visa. And then all the fees that you paid, you got to turn around and pay them the next year, all over again. They have their ways of getting you here. Okay. Don't be a fool and just listening to somebody tell you rent here is cheap. It is in the hood, if that's where you want to be, and that's your choice. But they have other ways to make it up, for sure. Okay. Some of the other things real quick, and then I'll get off Colombia and get on something else. But let's say, for example, you're someone, because this is something new that they're doing. You guys already know about what's going on at the airport. Those of you who like to come here to mess with the women or men or whoever you are, you come to the airport, you got anything in your bag that could be deemed sexual in any way, they throwing your ass out immediately. There are people, see, the only stories y'all really hear about are the real crazy ones, like the dude that came with a suitcase full of condoms, the dude that came with a suitcase full of sex toys. Y'all hear about those all the time because those make the national news. The ones y'all really don't hear about is the dude came with a lingerie set for his girl. He called his girl supposedly on the phone, gave it to the migration officer. Migration officer didn't even care. Threw his ass right on out. Didn't even matter. Doesn't matter. So it's up to their discretion. They let in who they want to let in, period. So if you're thinking, well, I'm just going to come with one or two, I'm just going to bring this, or I'm going to just go ahead, take the risk. That's on you. Okay? I just want to put that out there. That's on you because you all only hear certain stories that make the national news. When you live here locally, you hear a lot more of things that happen that, like, okay. And then you got YouTubers that they're focusing on as well. There was a guy that tried to come in recently. What was his name? Roberto versus the world, or Robert versus the world, or Roberto versus the world. One of the two. Nope. Now, according to him in his video, because they put a short snippet of it on social media, he supposedly had not gotten in any trouble in Colombia before, but because of his type of content, which I'm not real familiar with whatever it is the hell he does, whatever it was that he does, it was bad enough for them not to let his ass in the country. So they threw him out. He's not the only one. There's one here recently that if you're in that so-called travel space, they got thrown out recently. I don't know if they're going to make a video about it or say anything about it, but it ain't my place to say who, because I'm not trying to deal with any of those people in that side of the world. As far as I'm concerned, they all effed up anyway, so I'm going to keep them over on that side of the world. But if they decide to tell you who they were, that was a YouTuber that's into talking about that type of stuff, they were recently thrown out. Okay, so it's just a mixture of what they do here. If you're in that world, just know you may not even make it in. Because again, they still going through your social media. Now, how they determine who they picking out of the line, I don't know. If some of the people out there saying, well, it's just the black man, they just messing with black America. Nope. If you go to the paper, the last 4, I believe, a couple of them out of Germany, Lithuania, Argentina, they throwing out people from everywhere. Doesn't matter. Skin color, where you're from, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. Does not matter. Okay? All right. Now, the apartment talk, and then I'll be done with this part and I'll move on to something else. So I'm going to reiterate this to people out there again when it comes to apartments, because people are not being honest with you all with these apartments and living in these situations here, okay? A lot of these people are in Airbnbs, and a lot of these dudes move in with either their poor Colombian girlfriend or their poor Venezuelan girlfriend or their poor buddies. That's how they're maintaining here, okay? Because when it comes to getting an apartment, there's only so many ways as a foreigner with no ID card, and even with an ID card, because I got a residential ID card, it's still difficult for me. I still got to have a cosigner, okay? When you're a foreigner and all you got is your passport, that's even worse. At least I got a bank account. I can show them where money's being deposited every month. You can't even get a bank account. You can't get nothing, right? I can go open up accounts with the local power service, gas service, and water, which is EPM, same thing, where you got to have a cosigner for that as well. So understand what it is, guys, and people trying to make it sound like, it's so easy to get this place. Now, every now and again, you can get lucky and meet the owner, and the owner may say, I need 6 months up front, or I may need a year up front. I need the whole thing up front in order to rent you the apartment. You can get lucky every now and again and find that. But for the most part, you're going to need a cosigner, a guarantor. And sometimes they want that guarantor to even have land, right, that they can recoup their money. So there's a lot of misinformation out there. And this is being honest with you guys and letting you know how it works. Because most of the time when foreigners come here, they think US when it comes to renting an apartment, right? Run your credit, check your references. If you have to make a deposit first and last month, you in. If your credit's good, you don't make no deposit at all. That's in the States. In Colombia, don't work like that. They don't care. You making $35,000 a month. Doesn't matter. You have no ties to the country, which is why they want a cosigner. That's the main reason why they want a cosigner, because there's nothing stopping you from dipping and not paying and destroying their place. So that's why they do it. So if you're going somewhere like here, right, and you're trying to go on Facebook Marketplace and you're looking at these apartments, or you go to some groups and they showing these apartments, and a lot of times too, they're scams. Unfortunately, they're scams because regulations here are a lot different than they are in the States. And I'm finding that out too as I'm looking to a vehicle and understanding buying a vehicle, which is night and day difference from the States. So when it comes to renting an apartment and finding a realtor here is a lot different in the States. In the States, realtors have license. They usually attach to a company. You can call the company and verify they work for RE/MAX or whoever, Century 21. In Colombia, I could be a realtor tomorrow. I can call myself a realtor tomorrow. Never been to school, don't have no license. I'm just looking at the same thing you guys are looking at, contacting these people, telling them I'm a realtor and I'm gonna show you this apartment. They'll come down, give me the key or give me the box, the code to the box, and let you in. That's how wild it is here, dude, because there are no licensed realtors here. They're not. This is how a lot of people get scammed, right? It's unfortunate, but it happens, especially with Facebook Marketplace. Some of these other sites, easy to get scammed because you'll go look at an apartment and the guy have you make a deposit, or usually it's a female. If it's a guy who's asking, they'll usually send out some young, pretty female. You busy looking at her, you ain't really paying attention to what she's saying, and she asks you for a deposit, first month rent, last month rent, or whatever the case may be. The people give it to her, they never hear from her again. That's how easy it is here for scams to occur. And if you do get into an apartment, and we talked about this before, is you have to make sure that apartment doesn't have any fees. Like they got back electric bills, back water bill, back gas bill, cable bill. Someone damaged it and didn't pay for it. If you don't do a check to make sure, you're like, well, how do you do a check to make sure? You got to get a lawyer in most cases to check. Because if you don't really speak Spanish, you don't really understand the system here, again, it's easy for you to get scammed. So a lot of times you're going to need a lawyer. So if you don't do those checks and then you move into this apartment, there might be a $2,000 fee there you weren't aware of. And when you sign that contract, that is now your $2,000 fee. That's how that works here. It doesn't just in the States, it just goes with the person, the last person that was in there, goes on their credit. They're responsible for it. Here, you moving into a building with those problems, now you're responsible. A car works the exact same way. And I think I explained this maybe 2 weeks ago, that if the owner of that car, because it's the plate, unlike in the States, you get a new plate, the plate, if you're buying a used car, stay with the car. So whatever's attached to that plate, tickets, unpaid fines for parking, hit and runs, or whatever the case may be, that they can get money from you. If you buy that car and you didn't check to see if there were liens or anything on that car, they're now your problem. That's the way it works here. So, in a lot of these Latin countries, it works the same way. I think in the DR, it was the same way. You're responsible for it. So you have to make sure that whatever you're getting into and whatever you're doing, you get help if you don't understand the system. You hire a lawyer if you don't understand the system. Like just for my passport being mailed in to make sure it was right, I could have mailed it in myself. No, I ain't do that myself. I hired a lawyer. No, I hired my same lawyer that done all my immigration stuff, and I was done with it. Is that background Colombia? Yeah, this is Medellin late at night. We were up on actually no, this one is done by Gemini. There's another photo I had that's been enhanced that we were up on we were in Robledo. And it looks sort of like this, but yeah, it was from Robledo. That was a long time ago, but Gemini created this one. All I did was tell it what I wanted, and it created from the prompts. All right, what time is it? Yeah, we got a while to go with still, but do you guys have any questions at this point, regardless of whatever the topic is? But I just want to let y'all know that about here. You know, the same thing with the visa situation. Depends on the type of visa you're talking about, because pricing here, especially with the dollar going down, is way higher. When I first got my visa, I think I paid $450 some, like right at $455 or something like that. My very first visa back in 2018. And then my second one, it went up. I want to say I paid close to $800. And then this residential visa, which is completely different now. The residential visa has another fee by itself of like $400 to $500 without the lawyer fee. That's just to have the 5-year visa. And I want to say I spent like $1,100 or $1,200 total to get my residential visa. Now, the next part in the next 5 years, if I don't go for residency, it shouldn't be that high, but I'll let you know. But I can tell you, if you're coming for a migrant visa for the first time, you're looking at anywhere between $1,300 to $1,800, depending on the law firm you use, if you're unable to do it on your own. That's just visa fees. That ain't including all the other fees you're going to have with it. So total, I mean, you're probably looking anywhere from $1,700 to probably $2,200, depending on the lawyer that you use. That's how much it's changed. Trying to see what else. What other fees are there or whatever else is out there for you guys to know when it comes to stuff like that. I already told you about the increase. I already told you about the minimum qualifications. I already told you guys about the insurance requirement. I think that's pretty much all of it that's covered. You know, the biggest thing though, dude, is like, don't get scammed. Because that's one of the biggest things I've noticed online with a lot of people is they tell people what they want to hear instead of people actually doing background checks, double checking to make sure what people are saying is correct. It's just don't get scammed. Don't fall for the okie doke, right? Because I remember during COVID, do y'all realize during COVID that because people didn't understand Spanish, they would pay someone who was basically a tourist here to tell them where they could go get the COVID test to leave, right? And I'm like, why would you pay for that when that's free? All you got to do is go to the embassy's website and it tells you where all the locations are in the city you're in for free. That's how people get scammed. Same with a bank account. I remember a guy telling me once he was in the DR. He used one of these YouTubers that used to be in the DR. This was probably back in 2017, 2016. Paid this YouTuber to help him get a bank account when all he had to do was walk in the bank himself. The people spoke English. I mean, there's little things like that, man. It's like, I personally don't understand those things. Like, what do they call themselves? Concierge. No, what do you call themselves? You know, when you pay someone that's supposed to be helping you when you land and they take you around or whatever it is. What do you call those people? Um, oh my God. I can't think of what you call them, but you know, they be online advertising. Is it concierge? No. What do they call themselves? They be online advertising that they'll take you around the city and they'll show you everything and they'll hang out with you. What the hell you call those people? I forgot, whatever you call them, right? And people will pay them like $400, $500, $800 to like just hang out with them because I guess they scared or they're bored or they don't speak the language or whatever the case may be, right? I don't understand that concept. I don't. A guide, yeah, but they call it something else though. It's not guide. Consultant. Is it consultant? No. I don't know what you call it. I forgot. No, it's not chaperone. I forgot what they call it. But anyway, I don't understand. Y'all have to help me understand this. Why would you pay a grown man who really don't know much more than you do? Because a lot of these dudes that do this are tourists, just like you. The only difference is they may have come 3-4 times before you've come there, but they're essentially tourists. And what I found from like talking to people who used those guys before is like most of them couldn't even speak Spanish. They didn't really know where nothing was outside of the tourist spot. So I'm like, well, why would you pay these people $500-$600 just for companionship? It's like, I never understood that. Never understood it. Let's see, still got a little over an hour. So if you don't want to hold on, then that is, oh wow, you still got over. Okay. Yeah, nah, dog. Nah. Yeah, this is gonna be a short one tonight. Let's see. A sponsor. No, what you do? Okay. Let me try to describe it. So let's say I'm a YouTuber online, basically hustling, trying to get people to book my service here in Colombia. What do you call that? And I'm saying, I'm gonna show you around. I'm gonna show you the tourist spots. I'm gonna show you where the working girls are. I'm gonna show you where the malls are. I'm gonna show you El Centro. What do you call those people? I can't even think of the damn name of it. No, they ain't facilitator. What? They have a name that they call themselves. It's something like concierge. I can't think of it, bro. I can't. Yeah, it's something like a tour guide, something like that. Yo, what's up, Markel? Have a lot of work tonight. Okay, Mr. B, it's all good. Yeah, I'm not gonna be on much longer. Steele told me that he got over an hour. Yeah, it ain't gonna be much longer. No, it's not a tour guide. Bear. Okay. There are guys online still doing it. Like, say you were to come here to Colombia. I'm online and I'm telling you, I can take you around, I can show you these different things, and I'm gonna charge you $500 to $1,000. There's a bunch of guys still doing it right now. But they call themselves a certain thing. It's not a tour guide, but it's basically, essentially, it's a tour guide. But what the people who are buying the service don't realize is that shit is illegal as hell. Because in this country, it ain't legal for me because I'm a resident. If I wanted to start a tour guide service, I can do that as a resident. You as a tourist, man, the worst thing you can do is go to another country and you dealing with somebody who got no license, no insurance, and you get jacked up. Both of y'all going to jail. Both of y'all going to damn jail. And that's what I never understood about that. It's like, how are you selling a service in a country you have no ties to? That was the most oddball thing to me I've ever heard, ever. And it made absolutely no sense. Yeah, it's something like a tour guide, but they call it something else. I can't even think of the name of it, man. It's something like concierge or consultant or I can't think of the name of it, bro. I appreciate y'all trying, man, but I can't think of the name. But anyway, for those of you who are out there considering doing this, understand that is illegal. Y'all do realize that, right? It's illegal. You cannot go to somebody else's country, call yourself doing something that there's already an industry doing it, and you're just a tourist. It's like, come on, man. Cultural ambassador. I like it, but no, that's not it. Hey, that sounds pretty good. I'm going to use that one. But no, you can't do that, man. That's the part of the problem, man, I have with a lot of this stuff, bro, is that people get caught up in illegal shit. And it's like they're innocent doing it because they don't understand this is not America. You can't just set up shop anywhere and you have no ties. Like, you got to get an actual work permit to work in these countries. A lot of these dudes they can't even stay in the country past 6 months. So how they getting a work permit? They can't, right? And then y'all fall for it. Some of you guys fall for it, man, and they just taking y'all to places you could have went on your own. You could have grabbed your phone and say, hey, take me to blah, blah, blah. Take you there. Or translate it. Download the translator in your phone, right? Just little things like that, man, but it is what it is. But anyway, though, guys, since Mr. B is good, I know Tommy's out of the country, still got another hour worth of work. I don't know where Mr. Miles is tonight. He's usually coming on later. And Howard's birthday today. And Wally, don't know. Wally, I don't know. But anyway, though, man, I appreciate everybody sticking with me this long. Hopefully you learned something out of this. Hopefully I was able to give you guys some information you could actually use to help you. But I will say, though, probably when it gets closer to my visa, my residential visa expiring, and I'm getting ready to get a new one, I may go ahead and do what Urban is doing, man, which is get that retirement, that pensionado visa for Panama. I'm not going to live in Panama. I just want to have it as another one, right? Just extra. Because I do want to get, once I finally do decide to do citizenship here, I do want to go to another country and get another one. And it's just for legacy, man. It's just kids ever decide they want to come live here. They got a relative that's lived here, became a citizen. Much easier path for them to take than the path I took to get to this point. So that's why I'm doing it. You know, it's like, I'm gonna talk to them and say, hey, if you were to leave the US, where would you like to go? And then I'm gonna try to go to that country if they offer some type of retirement visa, pensionado visa of any type. I'm gonna try to do that. You're right. I think people, especially Americans, are nervous when traveling because it's new for us. Yeah. Now, people in the military, I'm sure you know better than to do something like that. But if you never really travel outside the US, I always tell people start in your backyard. Go to Mexico or go to Canada. And you'll see it's not like, people just bum rushing you trying to get you. It's a different experience, though, altogether. Have you been to Panama yet? Nope. I heard it's great. Nope. I'm right next door. Still haven't been. I was supposed to go see Urban, and never took the opportunity to go yet. Nope. Been to Puerto Rico. Never been to Panama. I heard it's hot as hell. Looked at video of Panama. Heard Urban describe Panama to me a few times, but no, never been, dog. I mean, the only place I would go there is Panama City. T has gotten so much easier coming to Europe now. Travel has gotten so much easier. Oh, Barry, while you're here, can you explain in a few words how is the process of getting your or paying that fee, whatever it is you got to do now for Europe? You got to like pay some fee up front and fill out some papers or something like that. Let's see. I used to live in Thailand. It was like the most people place in the world. Food is good too. Okay. Never been to Thailand, bro. Never been there either. That's a new one for me. Thailand, I considered going, especially if Howard was going to go and Wally was going to go, I thought about going just probably for like a couple of months because that's a long way to travel to come right back after a week. So I'm like, nah, if I go there, it's going to be a couple of months. So I had considered going when they were talking about going, but I don't know if they were serious about doing it. Okay, Barrett said there's no fee yet. Okay, so they haven't implemented it yet. Friendly, I meant. Okay. They haven't implemented it yet. Okay. I enjoyed it more. Now I've been to the Philippines. That's one place I've been is the Philippines. A long time ago. The only thing I remember about the Philippines, man, and it's being 100, is that the apartment was so goddamn small. I stayed in BGC, and the apartments were super small, man, compared to the U.S. Never saw an immigration officer until I got to Milan. Okay. Hopefully, you didn't have no issues when you were there. Cost of living was really inexpensive for good quality biometrics on doors, everything. Okay. Now, man, I gotta tell you, bro. You know, I'm real skeptical when the people talking about cost of living is inexpensive because, like, here people tell you cost of living is inexpensive. To me, it just depends on the person and your lifestyle, what you like, what you don't like. Like a lot of there are places here, and I've mentioned this before, that are very inexpensive, right? I know places I can go in Guarni. I know places I can go in Caldas. I know places I can go in El Carmen de Villarreal. I know Copacabana, Girardota, Robledo. I know all these places because I know people in these places, right? But that ain't nowhere I would want to live. I gotta keep it a buck. That ain't nowhere I would want to live. And it's not because I think I'm better, it's because of everything that goes on around it. It's like here, you don't hear no noise. When you live in areas like that, man, you hear everything. Everything. And then 6:30, 7 o'clock in the morning, they running through with the bullhorn talking about selling strawberries and bananas. Then about noon, you got the mariachi band coming by. And I know all this because I visit my friends and we be sitting in the house talking. Next thing you know, you hear all this noise coming through. I'm like, what the hell is that? Oh, they just selling fruit. Oh, no. Oh, they out there singing, serenading somebody. Oh, no. No. Like over here, you ain't gonna hear none of that over here. Since this new mayor came in office, you come through here talking about selling avocados or strawberries, they're gonna put your ass straight in jail. Only because the scanner was acting up. Okay. you let some of them come over here. I can open my window every day for the next month. You are not gonna hear one person going up and down this hill talking about strawberries, avocados, or nothing. Your ass is going straight to jail. And you can tell the difference too when you're in the barrios versus when you over here in this area, because this is a strata 6. Bruh, the streets get real narrow. Ain't nobody wearing no helmet. That's when you know you're in the hood. When ain't nobody wearing a helmet on a motorcycle, nobody wearing a helmet, and the streets are so narrow, only one car can go at a time. Whichever direction you going in, other people got to wait till all that traffic go, then they go. You in the hood. Biometric runs everything here, facial recognition, all that, even in Seattle, if you have clear pass. Okay, that works. Biometrics to get into your apartment homes, so nobody outside your family can get into your place. That's pretty cool. Here we still have, guards. We got regular guards. I do have that on the door. I just never had to use it because you can't get in here anyway, right? We got armed security guards here. If you come up to the gate, well, first of all, you got to know whoever it is, whole name, apartment, and their phone number. You ain't got all that, you ain't getting in. And then they got to call first. They call you, they ask, do you know who this person is? If they've never been here before. You know who this is? Nope. Okay. And they send their ass packing. You got to go. So now I have it, but I just never use it. But all right, guys, that looks like that's going to be it for tonight. Thailand is still a possibility for me. Never been. Mike is convincing me from watching his videos. Maybe try Vietnam. Maybe. Not sure about that. But definitely, I got to get to Panama. Urban sent me some stuff from Panama, man. Some of those places in Panama are pretty nice. They pricey, but they pretty nice. You know, it's a lot more than I'm paying here. One of the spots he showed me was about $2,700 a month. That's a little bit more than my max that I want to pay, but it was pretty nice. It was pretty on point. So, but yeah, that's probably gonna be it for tonight, guys. Let me see what Barry's saying here. In London, I was told that they're TSA officers. I have a knee brace, and he said, "You good, man? Go on through." Oh, okay. Yeah, I heard Vietnam is great, cheap too, for great quality. Yeah, hey, you know, that's what I thought too. Like, I guess it's the way we look at things, right? And how we see the world. Because, like, when I went to the Philippines, and I have people kept saying, "Oh man, Philippines so cheap, it's so cheap." Well, not where I was in BGC. No, it's not. Now I don't know where y'all were or where you go when y'all go to these countries, right? But no, that's not the case with a lot of places that I find. It's not, because in the DR, okay, I stayed in Boca Chica for a while, and Boca Chica was very inexpensive living on the beach. That same boathouse, you're never gonna get the same price I had before. And I only got that because I knew some of the people who worked there before. I had met them a long time before, and that was the only reason I got that price. But believe it or not, in 2016, 2017, I used to only pay between $550 to about $600 and some dollars a month to stay at the boathouse. You literally on the beach at the boathouse, okay? That same boathouse, I think those rooms are anywhere from $125 to maybe $150 a night to stay at the same boathouse I stayed in, right? And this was 10 years ago, 11 years ago. So yeah, times have truly changed. When I was in the Philippines in BGC, I rented this apartment. It was above like a mall that I remember. I want to say it was like $1,100 back then to rent in BGC. So I'd imagine that apartment now, it's probably $1,800, $1,900 a month. In the DR, right? Like I was saying, I was at the boathouse. But before then, you know, I had stayed on El Conde a couple times. Yeah, don't do that. Don't do that. But I stayed in Bay Vista, and I stayed in Pantini. The apartment I had in Bay Vista was a 2-bedroom, 2-bath, and it was right around 14, 13, something close to 14. And then the one I had in Pantini, it was around the same, 14, 13, 14 a month, something like that, right? When I was in Mexico City, I can't remember the damn name of that city, but it's the city has the lowrider as a statue. Some of y'all have probably seen it in Mexico City. I forgot the name of the area. God dang it. Oh my God. I can't think of the name of the area. But I stayed at an Airbnb there. I want to say it was like $1,200, $1,300 for the Airbnb there for a month. And then I ended up living in Playa del Carmen down from Cancun. And that one, that was like $1,200 a month, somewhere in there, to stay in Playa del Carmen. Now, this was back in the days. I know that apartment now, that area I was in then, it's got to be $2,000 or more, easily. Let's see. True, I used to live in Makati. Okay, not a lot of space. Hell no. Like, I've been to Makati. What's the other one? Quezon City? Is that what it's called? Quezon? I forgot which one it is. Makati. And then I went down to Manila, like the downtown area. That was a mistake. That was a mistake. No. Philippines was okay. The only problem I had with the Philippines was the distance, right? You're a long way from home, and those last minute flights if you had to get back. Because I don't know, for those who've been following me for a long time, y'all remember there was an incident that happened with my son, and I had to fly back to the States, right? I flew back to the States, handled business there with my son, come back here. I think round trip only spent like $700. In the Philippines, if I had to do that same thing last minute, I don't know, it might have cost me 8 to 10 grand to do it last minute in the Philippines. Quezon, is it Quezon? They also have the MOA Mall. Yeah. Squatters areas are crazy too. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I went down, okay. And I told the story before. We went down in this area, like downtown Manila. I'm not exactly sure what it was, but all I know is this motherfucker standing on the sidewalk, man, just peeing out there in the open. I said, nah, this ain't where I'm supposed to be. You know, they just standing out there taking a piss. I was like, Then you see the jeepneys, and I see people running, jumping on the back of them damn jeepneys, and then you see all the little motorcycle taxis, and then you had the regular taxis, and then you had what do you call it? Was it Grab? I think it was called Grab. Is that J Love? I think it is. Jay Jones? Yeah, that might be J Love. I think it is. But Argentina is another one, guys. I wouldn't mind trying, especially since, you know, they've cleaned up a lot of the financial stuff in Argentina. That's another one. Peru, I don't know. Lima, I don't know about that one. Been to Brazil. Would like to go back to Rio. But some spots I want to go to that are further down that most people are not going to want to mess with: Paraguay, Uruguay. Those are the two I'm gonna try to hit to get down to. Tricycle or motor taxi. Pedicab. What is that too? What is that one? I don't know what that one is, but I remember them little small ass moto taxis. Hey man, because you ever notice how you see shit in the movies sometimes and you think that shit is not real? Like, there's no way these people are riding in these little ass motorcycles and little ass cars. No, that shit real as hell. It's real. It is real. Yeah, that's Markel's favorite. Hell no. Hell no. You straight up tripping. Bruh, I've been here since November. No. Well, yeah, if I don't count the time I kind of went back and forth, but since November of 2018. First time I visited was in 2017, but I've never been on a bus, knock on wood. Never been on the metro, knock on wood. Never been in the cable cars, knock on wood. Ain't never been in none of those subway things or trolleys or whatever in the street, knock on wood. I don't get on none of that shit. Hell no. They have those taxis also with a gas tank. Yeah. The propane tanks, man, that shit is crazy. No way. No freaking way. Yeah, them propane, that shit is dangerous. You get an accident. Yeah. I've seen a few of them here. Taxis have them because you can hear. If they do it right, you shouldn't be able to hear it backfiring. But when they do it at that DIY, the DIY, what is it? DIY, do it yourself. You can hear the engine or the combustion because they didn't put it in right. And there's a few of them here you can hear. You can hear it. Oh yeah, he got one of those tanks in the trunk. Yeah, CNG in the trunk. Yeah, you can easily tell when you hear them. It's very distinct, very distinct. But yeah, guys, I'm gonna try to get a car this summer. I want a Tesla, and it's only because the city's trying to go green, and there's more incentives, and the Tesla's cheap right now compared to BYD, which is they're charging way too much, and gas cars are No way. That just ain't happening. But the infrastructure is not here. There's no Tesla superchargers here. There's a few superchargers. Well, not even superchargers. There's a few chargers here, but EPM and I think it's Voltex are the only ones that have at least 50 kilowatts. And you're still talking 2 hours maybe to go from 0 or 10% to 80%. So they just don't have the infrastructure here. I may wait till Tesla actually builds some superchargers before I pull the trigger on one. There are buses that run on CNG in the States. I don't ride no buses, bro. I thank the Lord. I thank the Lord that I have moved beyond that point where I need that type of public transportation. And trust and believe, I'm working on a point where I'm trying to avoid airlines, try to fly private. I'm trying to build up a situation, Barry, where flying private is a routine thing for me. What's your question, bro? But yeah, I'm trying to get to that point, man, where I can fly private. Fuck that. What would 10K for a used vehicle get you there? Good question. You're probably looking at a 2005 to like 2010, somewhere in there, unless it's got really, really, really high miles on it. You're probably looking at somewhere like that. You're probably looking at something like a Chevy Spark, a Ford Edge. Because me and Jason went and looked at some used cars. So we saw stuff like a Ford Edge, Chevy Spark, old Chevy Trailblazer, things like that. Like anything here, Toyota, man, it doesn't matter how old it is or how many miles on it. People will pay a premium for Toyota and for Honda. Those two here, it doesn't matter. That car could be 30 years old. They're going to charge top dollar for Honda and especially for Toyota. Anything Toyota, man, these people here, bro, what they charge for Toyotas here is crazy. Crazy. Matter of fact, I can show you better than I can tell you. All right. So you wanted to know about 10,000. 10,000 is roughly like 40 some thousand pesos. So hold up. Where is price? Oh, it's right here. We'll say 70 millones, right? That's about 13 to 15,000 for 70 millones. So you look at that stuff like this. What is it? 1999. Let me tell you how much 70 millones is first. But that's a 99. And look at the miles on it. That's what you get. That Renault right there is under 10 grand for 35 millones. But just so everybody knows, so we all on the same page. Oh, I gotta update this thing. 70 millones. I'll tell you real quick how much that is. So 70, 3. So that's 19,000. 70 millones is 19,000. So this 99 truck that's got 291,640 kilometers is $19,000. Because trucks here like this, man, they can use those for taxis. But yeah, something like this Nissan Versa is right around 10. This is probably 12. This is kind of stuff you're looking at. This is a 2013 320. This is like 14. But yeah, you're not getting, you know, Captiva 2020. That's a little four banger. Look, 2010, 2011. Yeah, that's what you're gonna get for like 10 grand. This is like a little more than 10 grand for this. Yeah, you ain't getting nothing. Yeah, you're not getting nothing more up to date than something like that. So we take this off, and then you just look at regular prices of cars, bro. Because I wanted, y'all know me, I wanted another X5. Oops. And when I saw the prices for used X5s, and that's just the beginning, Jay. Here they have what's called a consumption tax, and it's 5% of what you pay for the car. So if you pay 100 grand for the car, you literally paying $5,000 every year for that one. That's not including the insurance or the plate. That's what I'm telling you, man. People are always so much cheaper. I'm like, what? Where are y'all living? Because it can't be the same place I'm living. So an X5, these are older. If you just look at a 2021, this is exactly what I had. X5, not an M. I'm not gonna do an M. Okay, right here. 309. This is a used car, 3 years old. 310. So that X5 is about $85,000, which is insane. You could buy a brand new X5, no miles, for about 3 grand more in the States. And this is a 3-year-old one. I'm like, man, it's crazy. These prices here are crazy. No, not hell no. You ain't getting nothing here, Toyota. Not for that price. Oh yeah. So if that's the case, what's driving like there? I just assume it's hectic like Mexico, so I don't want my car dinged up if I'm spending money. You just got to stay out of certain areas. Like I rented a car, and I stayed around this area that I know, from El Tesoro, here in Poblado, Envigado. I went out to Llano Grande, Rio Negro, and La Ceja and El Retiro. I just stick with in Las Palmas. I stick to places that I know. All this other shit going back the other way, like going to Bejo or going to Robledo or going to Laureles or any of that, I don't go none of them directions. I ain't got no reason to go over there. I go in none of those directions. A bit about buying a vehicle there, then Jay, because Dings is right. It's the rite of passage. I never go in those directions, so I stick to what I know around here. And you got to understand the parking situation too. Being a disabled veteran, I get to park in a handicap spot. That's the big spots. Because when you park in here regularly, there ain't no space. You are literally like this in those cars. So yeah, if you driving a big SUV here, yeah, you got dings. Ain't no way to miss it. Unless you're in the handicap parking, there's no way you don't have dings. No way. And that's another way that they get you here. Again, these people that say it's so cheap, I don't know where they living. The tolls, right? They just went up, and everywhere costs. Everywhere. Y'all tell me another place where they charge you to go to the hospital to park. You going to the hospital to visit somebody, they charge you to park at the hospital. They charge you to park in certain malls. Not every mall, and I don't understand the difference, but certain malls, the high-end malls, at least El Tesoro, they don't charge you there. But they charge you at Oviedo's, they charge you at Santa Fe, they charge you at Monterey, they charge you at Viva. Most of them they charge, but El Tesoro, they don't charge for whatever reason. I don't know why, but they don't. But they get you here. The tolls, any direction you take in going out of town, you're paying a toll. Going and coming back. Anywhere you parking here, you're paying, except El Tesoro. Everywhere else, you're paying. To own a car here is expensive. The fees, look, they have a tax here for a car. What do they call it? It's for the lights and the roads. I forgot what they call it, but you got to pay that too. They get you here. Ain't no the cheaper shit, man. Y'all can miss me with that. Y'all can miss me with that. I live here, bro. Dude, whoever's telling y'all this in the hood, taking public transportation, ain't have no desire to buy a car, ain't got no desire to buy no luxury, nothing. Ain't even got original clothes. They walking around with Jordans, with soccers, kicking soccer balls, because no. Even the people that I know in Robledo, okay, their rent is $400 and $500 a month, and they're local prices. So I know, no, ain't no way, dog. Y'all can miss me with that. So they recognize handicap parking. Is that everywhere or only in well, at least it's in all like established mall. All the malls have handicap parking. The hospitals have handicap parking. The airport has handicap parking. But like in general, no, Barry. Like there are certain restaurants you go to here or certain locations you go to here. It's just a big open area that you have to park in that they charge for parking. So it's not every single thing, but most established big businesses like your that are in the malls. But like if you're outside the mall, there are very few stores that have parking outside the mall because there's usually not space. There's usually just a sidewalk and you don't have the space. But in the spots where there is handicap parking, and like I have my knee braces and my AFO on, so they never say nothing to me. I get out, the dude look, and he going on by his way. He never say anything. They charge you to park at a hospital in Seattle? Wow. Damn. I never know a hospital that charged before for parking, bro. That was new to me. And I couldn't believe almost everywhere we went, we get charged for parking. Everywhere we go. There's very few spots, bro, you can go, you're not getting charged for parking. Very few. Very few. In any direction you're leaving this city, there's a toll going and coming. It's it just went up. It's either 37 or 47 one way, unless you're on a motorcycle. Now, if you're on a motorcycle, you get the bypass. But if you're in any type of car, truck, whatever else, you got to pay that fee. But it's expensive to own a car here, dude. It is. Gas, $4.60 for regular, and it's $6.70, I think, for premium. Yeah, it's like $6.70 for premium gas. They get you. They get you, bro. They get you. Taxi fees just went up. Uber fees just went up because you got to remember the cost of living here went up 23%. So everybody has to adjust. Hell no. First of all, I can't even ride a bike unless it's electric because I can't use my left foot to shift nothing. So yeah, my days of riding motorcycles like that are over. Now, if you're talking like the new electric, and I wouldn't know, hell no. I don't feel safe driving in this little roundabout here close to where I live, let alone getting out there on a motorcycle. No way. In a foreign country, bro, there's no way. No way. I ain't gonna even lie to you. No way. No way. Yeah, there's no way possible, bro. I could even attempt doing that. Now, if you're talking about the new electric bikes, I wouldn't mind like if it was just automatic. I don't know if the electric bikes are automatic or if they can shift um, like the gas bikes. I'm not sure. I've only seen one here. The trikes, man, I ain't getting out there. Nothing open, bro. No, 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 no. No, they make electric street bikes, Barry. Yamaha, the R1, they're all electric, the newer ones. And they're way faster. I know that. But yeah, I had no interest in getting nothing like that, dog. Mm-mm. No, no. But like these, Barry, these electric. This is not gas at all. It's charges just like the electric cars. I just don't know about the shifter. I don't know if it's all automatic. I would imagine that they would probably try to keep it. I don't know. I don't know. But I do know this is electric. These are the new ones. Try to show you somebody riding one. Yeah, I don't know. Does he have a clutch? I see the brake. I didn't see if it had a clutch. Is there a clutch on the other side? Oh, I didn't know Harley. Is this a Harley? Yeah. So Harley got electric bikes. I want to see the bike. I see the brake. Man, you need a better camera. Trying to see if it has a clutch. It does have a clutch. Okay. So they still got gears like a regular bike. Because it's got a clutch in it. Unless both are brakes now. I don't know. I don't know. So that's starting it up. Is this something you would think about buying, Jay? Or Tommy? Would you get an electric bike? I mean, there ain't nothing to start with electric. You just turn it on. I'm curious to see though if he shifts gears. You got 98%. How much range does he have? Oh no, it's 94%. He got 127 miles of range on 94%. So at 100%, he probably get 150 miles of range. That's not bad, but I'm pretty sure you can't get on it. There's no way. I was trying to see, guys, if he was going to shift. I just want to see him ride if he's going to shift. Oh, there is no clutch. So it's all automatic. I thought it was a clutch on that side. I don't see a clutch. I just see a brake. Oh, okay. Yeah, there's no clutch. So yeah, it's all automatic. Okay. But no, I wouldn't ride that here. Hell no. No, I like my legs. I see too many of them missing limbs here. Mm-mm. No, don't see it. And they have Harley clubs that come out on Sundays here, like the big motorcycle groups. They got a bunch of them that got Harley Davidsons here. But you know what, gentlemen? I got to get the hell out of here. Let's see. No, they don't have engine noise. Okay. my low back ain't ain't the best, so I can't ride like that. Hell no, bad shit no. My damn knee braces would hang up too. I used to ride a Ninja like 8 years ago. Which one did you have? Which Ninja? What size, brother? What size did you have? Because I remember, let me see. Let me run through my bike memories. Of course, I've had two different Yamaha R1s, Suzuki SL 1000. What else? I had a Yamaha Nighthawk. I think it was a Nighthawk. That was a 600cc. What else did I have? Oh, the big Suzuki, the King. What the hell is it called? It was 2200 cc's. It was a road bike. It wasn't a sport bike. Oh my God, I can't even think of the name of it, but it was gray. Okay, Jay. A 650? Okay. It was my first bike. Okay, cool. Yeah, I still got scars, burn marks from trying to take curves too deep with mine. But gentlemen, ladies and gentlemen, rather, y'all have a good one. I tried. I've been on here for like what, hour and a half? Jesus. So I tried, dog. So I've had it like 4 or 5 years and got rid of it. Okay. Yeah, man, I haven't been on a bike in years. Peace. Peace and chicken grease. Y'all enjoy. I'm out of here. See you all on Saturday.
Yeah.